Time we switch part. The boys are back. How are
Yes,
you,
sir, yes,
Chris?
sir, yes, sir. Quarters. No, I'm smiling today, but cautiously so. You know how you doing?
Good myself. Good myself. The Dan Carters of podcasting back for another
Yeah.
week. Just the church announcement
Hmm.
as usual. You can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts as well. But we're here. We're here to break down this week's. It's a break from the URC. Something
Yeah.
different. Um, European competition. Your boys facing some little boys. They sent over. Who did they send over? They sent over some. It looked like it was an under 16 team versus the first team.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who they put in front of you. You know, you have to get the result. You know,
True,
we've
true.
seen we've seen the Sharks also not play well against a team like Zebra, for example,
Yeah,
which the Cheetahs, they handled them. So you know what I mean. I think for the Sharks, it's a good bounce back to sort of try and move on from Loftus and find that next level, you know. But
but this is the thing that we're saying. It's
uh,
every other week they're in crisis.
yeah,
So
because
it's true to form that this week things are back to going well. But next week we have the
then
Cheetahs. Where's it gonna
you
go from
see,
there?
it's that's why I say cautiously, very cautious about getting too excited because tougher teams, that's where we need to see the results is when
Yeah,
it's those real teams, real big games, and yeah. But at the end of the day, good performance. They got the result that they wanted. I think less errors in terms of they looked after the ball a bit better,
yeah, especially in
getting
the
that
rain.
getting continuity and the way that they played. And I think it's also a statement of in terms of how they want to play. That's how they want to play.
Yeah,
They want to play with the ball, But I think they're missing a mix of more of that power game, that advantage line that, if they want to play that kind of game, they need to be able to get more of that more often. And yeah, look, against it's Paul, but yeah, that's why I say against the stronger opposition, that's where the real test is, So
yeah.
yes, this weekend you'll say we're happy, of course. It's a win, bonus points, and everyone's scoring. Hey, it's nice, man. Gaps, but eh, yeah, that's all that I want to say about the
Yeah,
Sharks now.
from my side, Sharks they handled the conditions better,
Yeah,
than how they were just putting in those little kicks, trying to get the kicks and find the space in behind there. I think Etzebeth as a senior member, you saw his impact,
yeah,
but it just looks like there's too few of those type of guys around. I'm as
yes,
well. I'm back on form. This is
head
this
and
is the
shoulders.
closest to, yeah, this is the closest we're seeing to, since his injury, to him
Yeah.
reaching his maximum form.
Mm.
And like I said, it looked like a first team versus an under 16 A team. Sharks were just structured better on the ball, better go
Yeah,
forward, better ball retention. They were just a
yeah.
better side on the day. It was
They
entertainment
improved.
value, not much for a neutral, but maybe for a Shark supporter it was.
Yeah, I think obviously the conditions, but
Yeah,
and yes, look, the Sharks they did better at keeping the ball and actually passing the ball around in those conditions, Um, and yes, those positives you can't ignore those, but you can't. It needs to be a bigger group effort, and that's why I'm still saying that there's some good attack. It's the same old. You see the good things, you can see now the thing is saying, okay, now that, and then keep doing that, that's you know what I
yeah,
mean? And even the guys coming, I think a bit more accurate, in what they were trying to do, a bit more patient as well, I think, and you can see a few of the creaks here and there, but of course, as a team, they going to get there under the new management. That's also not making an excuse, but that's also a factor is that they still building on something new with those
yeah,
guys. But as much as they have that XP, but it's good for them. But all I'm saying is now that, and then more and stack, because that's what they need to do. That's their challenge now, is being able to stack.
Yeah.
Moving
on to a team that has done that is the Bulls. They were facing Saracens. Saracens, this is more of a reputable side in terms of you've got Itoji, you've got Farrell, you've got the big guys are there. The big guys are there, and the same thing that you're talking about that you want to see from the Sharks, it's like the Bulls have done that. They found the right mix. They've brought in 4 coaches. They've brought in, I think, about 11 players, and it seems like now the mix is right. The Oros, they put enough water, they put enough Oros. It's tasting right.
That Brendan Cook, they got the right dilution.
The ice cubes, they even got the right ice cubes. Everything is just because it comes down to, I mean, for me, it comes down to even the first try that they scored is that it's set piece, 2-3 phases try, and it's all pattern play. And that's all the intersection of good coaching and players executing. And that's all that you want. Saracens never looked in at any point. They only really started playing after Vunipolo got a red card.
Yeah, and at the end, that's why the score flattered them a little bit. At the end of the day, but the Bulls, like you say, it's that thing. Like you said, they've got that. That's why I was saying even last. They look like they're in the better space. From a South African point of view in these competitions. Because of the squad that they have. All of a sudden there's different kind of players, and we saw that. I won't lie, we saw that across the board, which was pleasing to see. For me. But it's only round 1, so still a long way to go, But the Bulls, even the intensity, and I mean, it's Loftus, that they're always there at Loftus.
And it seems like they've brought the supporters back with the way that they're playing. They've brought them back. That intensity is there, that fortress Loftus. But they're complaining about the booing, and they're complaining about them booing Farrell. To me, personally, from my standpoint, number one, I believe it was overstated. I don't think the boos. I wasn't at the stadium, so I can't speak. But from the TV, maybe my volume was low, but it didn't even sound like it was. It sounds like they're making more of it than what it actually was. And even so, even if they're gonna boo him, so what? This is heroes versus villains. This is WWE. Well, this is
different form.
If this is going to be entertainment, which they wanted to be in the professional era of rugby, you must allow these things. We're not Monster and what these guys themselves. That they keep quiet when they kick and whatever. It's not part of our culture.
Yeah, it isn't, because I mean, it's a test match against the All Blacks. That's what you're gonna get, to put the kicker off, regardless. So
preseason for conversion, I'm booing.
It's your entertainment. You paid to be there. Let me boo. Let me boo. But I think let's leave the spectators alone. They wanted to express their discontent, and there's nothing wrong to say no. We don't like you. Let them know. So but the Bulls well structured. Even they try different ball players. Guys, it doesn't matter the number on your back. They're making the right decisions with ball in hand as well, especially the backs.
Especially the back three. Especially the back three. Willie is giving. He's assured at the back there, and he's giving opportunities to Moody and especially Arendse. Arendse had how many breaks off the back of Willie just making the right decision and that experience. Compared to last season, where maybe he would have even been playing fullback.
And you can see that difference that Springbok back three. I mean, that's what, if you've got that, that's what you expect, and that's what you have to appreciate about the Bulls, is that they know what they need to dish out even in their pack. You see Eskom and the guys there. They've got the guys, and they just, they seem to have fixed their scrum issues. I remember at the time there's some bit of the issues with their scrum. They've just 100%. Kept on improving. So like again, I repeat, they're in a good space. It's good to see they players looks like they've got a good group that's on form, that
Yeah.
can perform at any given stage. That's the thing that I like about how they've gone about, setting themselves up.
Yeah, I just hope that they're not peaking too soon and they can
Yeah.
sustain this kind of form. But Moody is looking great form.
Yeah.
Hanekom, everyone's been raving about him, but I think this game I saw more of what other people see, in terms of the touches, in terms of the big carries and that. Yanku Swanepoel also big game. I rate him. And I mean there was for, I think 3 disallowed tries there, and then there were 3 cards for Saracens. So in terms of and what they were doing was they were putting that pressure to make Saracens, behave in an ill-disciplined way, to give away those
Yeah.
penalties, to
Yeah.
do too much and cross that line. So it's the pressure
Yeah.
from them, like you said, ESCOM individually putting in the big hits, but as a defensive system as well, which you have
Yeah.
mentioned on previous episodes, as a defense, they've got it right there.
Yeah, you got it right. I think maybe they'll be disappointed there, but at the end, a bit of miscommunication, but altogether, I think they've got the right stuff. But as we say, it's a long season. That's
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's a long season, so good start. Good start.
Yeah, it's looking out for Jake. The Lions taking their B team overseas, taking guys on free holidays, taking guys on free holidays to France. But
Ah,
this is I don't know what's going on, because I've always said Cash is a fraud, but now
yeah.
team is looking like a well coached team. His backline, I've always said Ricardo Losha is a fraud. It's looking like a well coached backline. I'll just say very good performance from the Lions. They went there.
Yeah.
The guys took their chances. They took their opportunities. It was guys that don't get game time for
Yeah.
the A team. So the B team went and they're playing as the A team. And those guys, they took their opportunities and they took them well, or well enough.
Yeah. I think they took them well enough, because it was a bit close at the end, but what I liked, there was the maturity about how they went about it.
Yeah.
It was just, okay, look, they knew that, okay, we overseas, let's take our points and we'll
But
get
that wasn't the story at first, because Nico Steyn was taking quick taps when you've got a penalty. Like, in the beginning they were showing that almost over eagerness because they haven't been getting the game time. But like you say, as the game grew on, the maturity in the performance developed. Although at halftime they wanted to go for the scrum there on the try line, and Cash had to send the kicking tee because the guys just wanted to play too much. But like you said, the maturity came, I think, after that first initial over eagerness.
Yeah. And I mean, for them to even come away with that win, it's a tough win to get away from home.
Yeah.
So I think, and you see the different, all of a sudden there's Andres Kutsia. That's what I was thinking about. Is that, okay, they got a good mix there. I know I've been hammering about, okay, the Lions in terms of recruitment and things like that, but all of the guys that they've got there now, and it may be as a result of just the general team culture that they've got going, is they're also putting in performances, to say, okay, this is our assignment. These guys are on different assignments, so yeah.
They did show,
the
they showed a bit of depth there. JC Pretorius, he had a good game. Sergio Izan Esterhazen, I've never seen that guy play in my life, but like the impact he made off the bench. Obviously, you've got Hendrickson there, who
that number 19
on
there
ice
of the Lions. That
Izan
guy.
Esterhazen,
He made a big impact. Just his energy in the carries. And I think that's also part of what really helped them get over the line. There is that impact from the bench.
Yeah, the only thing I will say is the backline, that spark, that's the only thing that you could see was missing, is that spark that the starters really have. That they know how to break the line. In terms of the Lions in other games, how many line breaks have they got? How many just flashes of brilliance do you see? in this game they were camped on Perpignan's line for I don't know how long, and they couldn't break through. So that
Yeah,
was, I
couldn't
think
break.
that's the only real difference that I could see in the team. But like you said, the maturity to just say, we'll take the points
That
and we'll keep
character.
on taking them.
Yeah, that character, we saw that, and that some, that for them as a union franchise, what it does for them, boosts them, because they're winning. Now they're
Yeah,
seeing the results, it increases that belief. That's why I say, if they can keep it going, with that group, they just need some players need to get more confident, because you can
yeah,
see if they don't, and play against different types of opposition that are come with a different intensity, it won't be wins on both sides, as they've had it, because yeah, there's some few, yeah, you know
yeah.
what I'm talking about.
On to the other B team that traveled to Europe. Guys are getting free holidays there. But I must say, as we can be proud as South Africa that we sent two B teams and the Cheetahs. The Cheetahs won, Lions won, and the Stormers really took Leicester down to the wire.
Yeah, they did. I think he's just a bit unlucky, but it was always going to be tough at Leicester, It's a
Yeah,
tough
I
place
think
to.
the opposition being Leicester, and then on top of that, that maturity that you spoke of was maybe missing in this game.
Yeah,
That in the beginning, the start that they got off to, I think the center partnership is quite suspect, and it showed.
yeah,
Jean-Luc
yeah.
Duplessis and Hartzenberg's. I don't rate Hartzenberg as a 13 personally. I don't think the defensive duty. I don't think he can do it at this level. Jean-Luc Duplessis is not an inside center, so I think they caught them cold there. But like for him as well, I know a lot of people are harsh on him, but I think if he came more into the game and he started to make a few good plays. So I won't be too harsh on him. And I won't be
Yeah.
too harsh on Lee Marvin Mazibuko either.
There's
I have
improvements.
pointed that he is suspect, but I think his yellow was harsh. Pokomela tackled Visa into him. Although that final scrum, they maybe shouldn't have gone to the scrum knowing that he was on the field.
Maybe not, but hey, that's that with them, But I think there's some shining lights that you can see from the Stormers. Guys like Namaklaba, you can see
Yeah,
the level that he's, if he keeps on, I think he can, there's other levels he can get to. Keke Murabe, I think, yeah, he
yeah.
stepped up nicely, I think even
Against Visa.
yeah, even the 10 that they had there, you showed, that okay, at least at least
Yeah,
it's not so bad for them, but I think yeah, they'll be disappointed because the opportunity was there to take the game. They'll look back and they'll pick up things to say, okay, here and here they could have done better. And again, like you say, so that maturity and just the right people or right decision making, is
yeah.
understanding who's on the field and what's happening, maybe that also that's an impact as well, but Leicester's tough, man.
Yeah, in terms of other things, like you said, Morabi, for me, I've known junior levels how much of a good player he is, but you're always looking for that statement game to say,
Yeah,
is he going to take that step? Can he contribute at this level? And it was, seeing him make that pickup, beat the defenders, especially against Visa. He stood up, pulled a vet, picked Visa's pocket there as well, and the scrum off got over. I think Skosan is coming to life there. Um,
yeah,
it's looking good. It's looking good for them in terms of, if you looked at when they were on tour before, it was
yeah,
disastrous, and
yeah.
then now things are looking to they've picked back up.
Yeah, they look different, and I think it's also just getting the right players on the board, and uh, and again, you mentioned Hartzenberg, but I mean, you just that backline. Then you look at who they were playing against as well,
Yeah,
if we going to be, real about this, is that, it was, yeah, even if they had got away with the win, it was going to be it was going to be a
Yeah.
surprise, you know what I mean? So for them, I think they can take heart from the fact that, okay, they know that, okay, with this group, that they're starting to build that group with that confidence. The only thing is winning away from home, which is, it seems like that's a continuation, where they're just not able to crack that. And with these, these competitions, it's winning away from home is, it's also going to be key as much as your home games, especially if you want to get to the end.
Yeah, in the beginning they sorted their scrums out, and like you said, the quality of guys that they were playing against, when I saw the scrums were holding in there, the back line was holding in there. First it seemed like we're just gonna try and hang around for as long as possible. Then they started to get in the game and they started to play
Yeah.
themselves. They started to be physical. Guys weren't backing down. I like the lock pairing. Is it Stassen? That guy he's a strong man there. That guy was he was putting in he was roughing them up there. And I mean, to even go into halftime with the lead, I don't
Yeah.
know. I have to commend Dobo. It looks like he's turned
Yeah.
it around though. But yeah, guys, Mazibuko, I'll give you grace this week. I'll give you grace this week.
No, but there's always a chance for, redemption. But now again, it's, stacking up good performances, good, positives, and
Yeah.
that's all that we can hope for, for our players. At the end of the day, the South African players out there in Europe, so we have to support them, but yeah.
Yeah, and they've done well. I think it was a positive round if we look at it in its entirety. Next week, Stormers are playing La Rochelle. They're at home for that one. A team, we expect them
It's gonna be
to
tough.
show up there. We'll see if
Ogara,
Lades and Rule show up as well at their old home. Lyon versus the Bulls. Bulls traveling away, so we'll see what kind of team they take.
yes,
And I mean, we'll
and
see
and and what
that
they can
depth as
do.
well. Yeah.
Yes, it'll be a test as well to see the team that they put out, and then if they can now carry the wins forward.
Yeah, Lions versus Newcastle, and then Sharks against the Cheetahs on the back of a zebra win. We'll see. We'll see if it follows the trend of every other week being a crisis.
Yeah, but Cheetahs can be bogey. What bogey team for the Sharks? They can be, but I think we should be fine. Depends
Any
on who we
any
put out.
any closing remarks from you, Chris?
Look, Sharks just bet and the game. That's all.
That's it from us, guys. Thanks for watching.